You know that feeling, right? The one you have every single day? That sense that you are the one in the driver's seat, that you're consciously deciding your next thought, your next word, your next move. It feels completely obvious, doesn't it? But is it the whole truth?
What if that feeling of control, well, what if it isn't the full story? What if the you that you experience is actually more of a passenger than a pilot? That's the fascinating and maybe a little unsettling question we're going to dig into today.
So let's start with that baseline feeling, that powerful gut-level sense that you are the author of your own life. You could call it our conscious default setting. We all feel like we have our hands glued to the steering wheel, making every single turn, every decision. But what if there's this incredibly sophisticated autopilot system, just humming away in the background, doing most of the heavy lifting for us? The first little crack in this illusion of total control shows up when we look at the most fundamental thing of all, our own bodies. Let's take a look at this incredible autopilot in action. I mean, just think about blinking for a second. It just happens, perfectly, all day long, keeping your eyes safe and sound. You're not sitting there thinking, okay, time to blink, now. And now. Your body just handles it.
Or what about swallowing? Same deal. It's a super complex action, totally essential, but it happens completely on its own, without you giving it a single thought. Your body just knows when it's time.
And of course, the big one, breathing. This thing keeps you alive 24/7, whether you're awake or asleep, and you never ever have to add it to your to-do list. In fact, the only time you really think about it is when you have to consciously interrupt the automatic process just to hold your breath. And the sheer scale of all this is it's mind-boggling. It's not just the simple stuff. Right now, as you're listening to this, your body is a universe of automatic processes. It's balancing your temperature, controlling your heartbeat, filtering your blood, adjusting your posture. Most of what is literally keeping you alive is happening completely outside of your conscious awareness. Okay, so all the involuntary stuff is on autopilot. That makes sense. But what about the things that feel completely voluntary, like taking a step or saying a sentence? Well, this is where things get really, really weird. Let's take something as simple as walking. Neuroscience has shown us a fascinating sequence of events. Before you're even aware that you've decided to move, your brain has already done the math, predicted where your foot will land, and sent the orders to your muscles. The feeling of the step, your conscious experience of it, actually comes after the action has already happened. This means your awareness isn't kicking off the action. It's just showing up to the party a little bit late to experience it. It's almost like you're watching a replay of an event your own body just performed. Your brain acts, and then your conscious mind gets the memo. And this delay, it isn't just for physical movement. It happens with speech, too. We don't pre-approve our sentences in our heads, right? The words just kind of flow out. And sometimes we find ourselves saying things and thinking, where did that come from? The mouth moves before the conscious mind is fully caught up. And it even applies to our emotions, which is wild. We tend to think our thoughts cause our feelings, but a lot of evidence suggests the reverse is often true. Your body has a physical reaction first, a racing heart, tense muscles, and then your conscious mind scrambles to create a story to label that feeling. I must be angry, or I must be nervous. You don't think your way into a feeling. You feel your way into a thought. So, if you aren't consciously kicking off all these actions and feelings, what is your consciousness actually doing? This leads us to a really powerful new way of thinking about our role in, well, everything. It presents us with this amazing distinction. We feel like we're the writer of our lives. We're creating the story, deciding what happens next. But all this evidence suggests we're actually the narrator, the one observing the story as it unfolds, and then explaining it, both to ourselves and to others. So much of the time, our consciousness is less of a creator and more of a commentator, making sense of actions and impulses that are bubbling up from a much deeper, non-conscious part of ourselves. Think of it this way. Your consciousness isn't the CEO in the corner office making all the big decisions. It's more like the press officer who gets the report a moment after the decision has been made and then has to craft the official story about why it happened. So does hearing all this make you feel a little bit out of control? I get that, but maybe we've been asking the wrong question all along. What if this isn't a loss of control, but an invitation to witness something incredible? It's the natural question to ask, isn't it? If I'm not the writer, if I'm just the narrator, does that mean I have no real agency? Am I just a puppet?
Not at all. In fact, it makes you something far more wondrous. You are a consciousness that has been given a front-row seat to the operations of the most complex and intelligent machine on the entire planet, your own body and brain.
And that's the final shift in perspective. The greatest mystery isn't out there in space, it's right here, inside you. The most complex system you will ever interact with is the universe of invisible processes working perfectly to keep you alive, all while your conscious mind is busy thinking it's the one in charge.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. If your experience of your own actions is a fraction of a second behind the actual event, what does that say about your experience of the world around you? What else are you witnessing just slightly delayed and calling now?